all gorgeous.
Thank you. See how rainy it is?
Yeah, you should tell the people how you just cursed me out.
I did not just cuss him out.
Before you clicked on record.
Have I ever cussed you out?
No, you don't curse, but you can curse me out though.
How?
What's your attitude?
What do you mean, like? Because I do roll my eyes. Okay. I roll my eyes before. I'm hella guilty of rolling my eyes.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's right to cuss anybody out. Especially your man. I just think it's ugly. I think it makes you look real nasty, no matter how pretty you are. When I see women talking to their men all crazy, I'm like, oh, you ugly. But
you can curse somebody out without saying a curse word.
how?
Easy. It's in your demeanor, the way you respond to things, your behavior, your silent treatment. Oh, you cursed me out a couple different times. I don't know what you're talking about. You might not have said that with your mouth, but you said it with your body language.
Because in moments of conflict and correction, which is what I wanted to talk about today, because I know my mouth is sharp and I'm very sarcastic, I shut down and I'm quiet. It used to take about 3 days. Now, how long does it take?
1.5.
Nuh-uh.
It was 1.5 days.
An hour.
No. We had
This is false progress in my mind. I thought we were.
No, you haven't progressed. You haven't made progress. But the thing is that you probably won't take the whole 72 hours like you used to. But what you would do, you would get over it a little faster, but you'll still have it in your body. So
in my body.
It's in your body. It ain't exit yet.
Yeah. Because I don't know why when it comes to being corrected, because I had to think for a while. I went back and I thought, why is it when my husband is correcting me or telling me something that is right, I take it so hard, or I take it to heart as if he's stabbing me with a knife. So I don't know why. So I had to track back to when I was younger. How did I receive correction? And that's a whole different story. Because if your parents correcting you, screaming to the top of their lungs, you're gonna, I think now, even as an adult, or my husband, especially him being a man, is correcting me, I feel attacked, even though that's not what it is. So I think that's where it came from.
What is you doing?
Oh, this person right here?
Yeah, I ain't got no signal on. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so I think that's why I take correction from my husband that way. I think it just stems back to when I was younger, taking correction from my own father and how tough that was. So I kind of discovered on my own that's probably where it came from. Do you agree?
Of course.
Yeah. And I just think it's important to learn how to take constructive criticism without feeling attacked, especially if I know my husband loves me and he's only telling me something to make me better. And I just had to get out of that type of mindset when it came to him telling me things about myself that weren't healthy for me anyways. So I think I'm slowly coming out of that programming, like our friend Van Brown would say, my history, fighting that part of my history. And then I kind of wanted you to talk about just a little bit, like correcting and being corrected, because I know my issues with being corrected, but when it comes to you as a husband correcting your wife, what are some things, or what's your process? What are some things you think about when correcting your wife? Because you correct other people, but I think it's different with your wife. It's just, I think.
I mean, you're the person that I spend the most time with. You know what I'm saying? So, but sometimes it can be difficult because if I've corrected you multiple times in a week, and it may not be the time to correct you right still trying to recover from whatever I said on Monday. So if I correct you on Monday and then I correct you on Tuesday, I gotta give you a little break on Wednesday, Thursday.
And if you don't give me a break, what's gonna happen?
It's too much. You know what I'm saying? Then you feel like you're inadequate, and I don't want you to feel that way.
I do feel like that at times.
You know, so it's just some things, you know, that you grew up with. Some things I grew up with too. You know, I get corrected too. But always, you know, correction to me is one of the highest forms of love. Because if a person doesn't correct you, then they don't love you.
Right.
You know, so that's why he says, you know, God chastises the ones that he loves. You know, the ones that he corrects is the ones that he loves.
Right.
It's just like playing basketball. If a coach ain't getting in your head, or as we say, getting in your ass, you know, then you probably ain't gonna get in the game.
True.
You know, he don't really care if he's not on you.
Right.
Because you know that you could be better, and know that you are not fulfilling your potential at the moment.
Right.
You know, but it's difficult sometimes because, you know, you got two people trying to become one.
Mm-hmm.
You know, to mesh together.
Two different histories, two different
You're from
ways.
the U.S. Virgin Islands. I'm from Alexandria, Virginia.
Yeah.
The D.C. area. And sometimes, you know, we on, like back home, we like on principles. You know what I'm saying? Like time and place to say something. You know, it's just a matter of principles with people who grew up where I grew up at.
Mm-hmm.
So, in the island, it may not be the same type of principles. It may be different. So,
Based on the family.
Based on the family. So sometimes.
Because about us, it was just respect. You don't talk to adults this way,
Right.
Or you don't say this, or you know, shut up and sit down.
Yeah.
Like this over here. Say good morning. Don't say the N-word. You're gonna get slapped.
Yeah.
That type of stuff.
Yeah. So, you know.
Yeah. Two different histories blending together.
Yeah. So both people have to let their history go and form a new beginning, and so to speak.
True.
Where we can form with each other.
A new culture, family culture,
Family
history,
you know.
or whatever.
Because you got a way that you want to raise Hamabi. I got a way that I want to raise Hamabi.
Yeah.
You know, and sometimes we get into it about that, and we might not say it,
Yeah.
but I might think that you're too overprotective.
And
You
I
may
might
think
you
it's
ain't
too
good.
wild.
Yes.
You know, that I'm going to hurt the baby or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
You know, so it's all about just finding that rhythm.
Right. Yeah, I agree. And how do you think I do in correcting you? Or do I correct you at all?
You do correct me. The only time I get a little hot is when sometimes it could depend on your tone, but that's vice versa.
Yeah.
You know,
Tone is important to me.
you know, but I think we first started dating before we were married. You didn't understand time and place. You would just say it. You know, it's like, maybe it's not the right time to say that.
Say stuff that you needed to know.
Yeah, the timing wasn't right. You know,
Because I don't know.
but I mean, what you said was right, but it was the wrong time. So that
And
made
I
it
think
wrong.
even in past relationships and past like friendships, I just was very outspoken. So which is why I've learned to shush.
Right, but there's nothing wrong with being outspoken. It's just being the way you go about it.
Yeah, I've learned that the truth is the truth, but even if it's the truth, if the person ain't ready, it might damage them more than it might help them.
Right.
So I've learned to manage how and when I
Because
say stuff.
I remember, like, you know, when I was doing commercials was like my bread and butter, right? This is before I became a movie star.
Hey.
So that was my bread and butter. I remember my wife saying, yeah, you know, because things was getting slow with commercials. I wasn't really booking nothing, and it wasn't really coming in. And she's like, you know, that time has passed.
It's over.
It's over. And I'm like, man, what you talking about, man? This the only bread we got coming in. You know, you were right.
Yeah.
But I wasn't in a place to receive that. So what I personally think kind of would have been better or more clever with correction in that moment. It's not going to always be like this, but hey, babe, don't worry. I know the commercials are slowing down. It's because God is already moving you to another place. He's moving us to another place. You know, you are you know, a movie star. You know, you doing television, you doing this, you got magazine. You know, you edifying your husband.
But I remember saying that this is coming to an end because of what's coming next.
Yeah, but the way you said it.
I should have said that first.
You should have said something. You were just like, yeah, you know, like these commercials, that's over, man. You know, we on to the next, and I'm like, huh?
Right, and
you
then
know,
I'm
we got
not
bills to pay.
But I'm not even aware either of it being the bread and butter. You know, that's what was bringing in the money, and I had to learn how men as providers think about situations and things. So
Yeah, because even in that, I was not aware that it's the bread and butter. So my thing would be like, well, how is my wife not aware of how we're eating?
Not like that. I mean, I didn't understand where you were financially with money and faith and stuff like that. You know, because you're so different now. You know. But I was just like, oh.
Hold up on that, so different now. What you talking about?
He don't worry about nothing no more. He's just brush it off. Okay, this and this and this, and he'll switch and move to the next thing, and it just doesn't really poke anymore.
Yeah.
Like I used to for me. I was just like, I don't know where nothing's coming from, but it's got to come from somewhere.
Yeah, I think it takes the time to get to a place where you know that God is your source.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's levels though, because you do got to go to work. You know what I'm saying? You got certain things that you have to do or have to take care of.
Yeah.
Especially like being a man. And one of the things, you know, is to provide. But when your wife is aware of it and knows what you're going through and can kind of beat you to the punch, so to speak, meaning before it becomes a crisis, she's already ahead of it.
Feeding the edification.
Vice versa with the husband.
Yeah.
You know, the husband got to, hey, you know, things gonna work out. You know, motherhood is not terrible. You know, you probably went through a little rough patch, you know, having a baby, but it's gonna be, you know, beauty on the other side of this misery. You know what I'm saying? So it's just being aware. You know.
You're right. But yeah, I don't even think that the title of this is correcting and being corrected. It's whatever. I'll find one. I always find one.
Yeah.
But
talking in the car while we in traffic.
Yeah, this LA traffic, man. We are on our way to church at Revelation Church, RCJC Ministries, at 14545. Is it Victory Boulevard, where miracles are everywhere. Hey, mamas. But yeah, I think that's all we got, huh?
That's all you got?
Mm-hmm.
That's all you want to talk about?
Yeah, it's 13 minutes. Ain't nobody got time to listen to us for 20 whole minutes.
Man.
I try to keep it at 5.
I can listen to me all the time.
Yeah, that's you, but
You don't
ain't
want to listen to
nobody,
me?
not all the time.
Why y'all see? You need to be corrected.
I listen to Will a lot. No, I listen to you all the time, Will. Will can talk. And when it's time for me to talk, Will is everywhere else.
No, not all the time.
Will can talk his butt off. So, babe, I was thinking about this.
That's how I sound?
So, babe, yeah, you know what? So, yeah, babe. So, guess what? He's always something. Yeah, but you're entertaining. You have me laughing half of the time. Man, you crazy, man. Some stuff you say. It's outlandish.
Like what?
But true. I don't know. You're hilarious. You're a true comedian at heart. This whole family is funny.
Yeah, I know. I don't know why I be getting all these serious roles all the time. They give me a comedy.
You're hilarious. Like, super funny. So, what we're doing in the kitchen?
What?
Figs, right? Will likes dried figs, and he was like, "Dan, these figs are so good, right?" And he said, "Even Jesus, something about Jesus."
Oh, this is the reason why Jesus cursed the fig tree.
He was like, "Even Jesus loved figs. That's why he was mad and he cursed the fig tree." I said, "What the hell?" That was random, but I thought it was
figs
funny.
be hitting though.